You are now tuning into The Vibe with Your Boys podcast. Starring Kyle the Kid and Mega the Boy. You dig?
It's your boy Kyle the Kid and Mega the Boy, and welcome to another episode of Vibe with Your Boys podcast. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
How you living? How you feeling, Mega?
Vibing, cool and wooling. I feel like I say the same answer every week, but
Are you like really just vibing, like, or are you just like this like generic answer?
you think it's like it's a play on Vibe with Your Boys or something?
I mean, I'm asking. I'm wondering, like, how you doing? Like, you good?
I'm vibing with the boys, man.
Okay. If you haven't already noticed, we got Roosevelt Merisier with us,
Yes, sir.
award-winning director.
Mr.
Effing know himself.
Appreciate it.
Got
Yeah.
his hands in a few pots, so we want to, sit down, chop it up with him, and see what's going on. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, my brother. Thanks for asking, man.
Most
Thanks for
definitely.
having me.
Our pleasure. How's your 2022 been going so far?
Man, it's been going great, man. It's been
Going
going
great?
awesome, man. You know, a lot of things are manifesting, man, one day at a time, man, and it's a lot of hard work, man. So
Yes.
I'm extremely honored and extremely thankful for the year of 2022, man. It's been a lot going on.
Okay. And you're navigating and making your way through the film industry.
Yeah.
So, of course, we want to talk about that. What are some current projects you got going on before we get, like, the full story?
Oh man, I got a couple documentaries got going on. I got one called Status Symbol right now. I had 2 screenings for it, man. I got a couple deals in the air right now. But before I get into the deals, I'm gonna flood it in film festivals and everything like that. Sundance, Tribeca,
How hard is
all
that,
that.
though?
You know what I mean? Huh?
How hard is that to get your film into
Nah,
those
it's,
film festivals?
honestly, it's really not that hard, man. Like you just gotta create a dope project, man. And
And
I-
they're taking submissions, so you just
yeah,
gotta
I got
submit
this exactly. I got this site called Film Freeway where I just upload all my work and I just submit directly to a lot of film festivals. So that's been a great outlet for me.
it. And I was checking out your page, and you also have your own film festival, right? You
Yeah,
started
FNO
doing-
Film Festival. Yeah.
And how has that been going?
It's been going very well, but I haven't had it since COVID. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So it kind of like
The
I
last
just
one was 2019.
yeah, the last one was 2019. Though right after I had the last one, COVID kicked in.
Yeah,
you
slowed
know what I
everything
mean. And then
down.
from there, I just been it's still in the tuck. I still got it going, but I got other things that I'm taking care of, and I'll get back to the FNO Film Festival.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's kind of take it back. You're Haitian, right?
Yeah.
So were you born here or born in Haiti or
Now I'm Haitian Bahamian. I was born in Bahamas.
Bahamas? Okay.
Yeah, born in Bahamas.
And then when did that transition coming over here start?
I
at?
came over here in 2002, man.
2002. So how
Yeah.
old were you at that point?
12.
12.
Yeah.
Okay, so at that point, like I know sometimes it's coming over, but you say from the Bahamas, so it wasn't like a language barrier. You just
Now, I mean, I still spoke English, but the
Yeah.
only problem I had was, fitting in with the
Other-
kids
yeah.
here, man. I used to get, bullied a lot, verbally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with my accent and everything like that. Go back home,
Came
you don't
straight to
belong
South Florida.
here. Yeah.
okay.
Came straight to South Florida. Went to Lauderhill Middle School.
Oh,
Straight
yeah.
from the Bahamas,
Same
man.
here. Yeah, Lauderhill Middle. That's right.
Yeah? What year?
Um,
What year
was
you
that?
graduated? What year you left Lauderhill Middle, I meant?
2011, 2012, because I started high school 2012. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So you was in that area, and then when did the love for like film take place? Directing, like
Oh man, I was always in the film, but I just didn't know how to get into it. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Friday's like one of my favorite films, man.
Okay.
Bernie Mac's one of my favorite actors. You know what I
peeped
mean?
that. I peeped
Yeah.
that.
So I just honestly, man, I just prayed, man, and just because I always knew I was different, but praying will definitely put you in a light that you definitely
even at a young
need.
age.
At a young age, man, I always prayed for things that I wanted, man. And I prayed, and ultimately I went out there and researched, and I went and found the people I needed to surround myself with to become a part of this industry.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Where did that like faith or the thought to pray come from? Was it family or just your upbringing or?
Nah, man, it was 2016, man. It was just, I was working a corporate job for so long, man, and I was just tired of doing the same thing every day, man. My lifestyle was repetitive, man. Wake up, eat, breakfast, go to work, getting stuck in that traffic, man, and it was the same cycle every day, man.
So
So
this was 2016.
yeah, this was 2016.
Gotcha.
But I was working a corporate job for like I was like 7 years in, man, just working the same corporate job.
Were you doing any directing at that point yet, or no?
Nah, I wasn't doing no directing,
Wow.
man. But I was working a corporate job, and like I said, I was just complacent, man. I was living a complacent lifestyle, a comfortable lifestyle. I was making good money and everything like that, but it wasn't fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then I just asked God, I was just like, what's next? You know what I mean? And then from there, I want to say 3 months later, man, he shed a light on me, man. And I got called for like an acting gig. And then, you know, I acted in the gig. And then from there, I fell in love with behind the scenes. And I met this guy named Andrew Sierra, which he put me on. He went to the Art Institute, man. He told me everything he know, free game.
Andrew.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and from there, everything just exploded.
So that's dope, because that's about 6 years ago. So it seemed like you really just hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Like you just got right into it. You went to college?
Yeah, I went to BC, but I didn't go to Art Institute or anything like
that's
that.
what I'm saying. So you didn't like go to the school for like the arts or anything like that.
Man,
So
it just fell in my lap, man, because I had a love for it and I made the connections.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. You said Bernie Mac is one of your favorite actors. I'm assuming as well comedians.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said Friday's one of your favorite movies. What other movies like got you like inspired to like, you know, take on this path?
I mean, all black films, man. Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society.
Gotcha.
Thin Line Between Love and Hate. I mean, I grew up on a lot of those black movies, man. You know what I mean? Bad Boys 2. You know what I mean? Any Bernie Mac film, any film that you see him in, because he's hilarious, man. He just brings a whole different element to the screen. You know what I mean? Like, you be in a bad mood and you see Bernie come on, you got to go get your popcorn, man. Like, you happy. You happy to see him on the screen because you know he's going to say something that's going to make you laugh. And he's forever going to be my favorite actor and comedian.
One of my favorite movies that he's in, away from Friday, Life.
Oh, my God.
Life. Him, Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence.
You saw what he did to that scene?
Yeah.
With him and Martin? When it was in that scene when he was like jingling.
Yeah.
As a director, when you have somebody like a Bernie Mac or Martin, or you hear Eddie Murphy, how much coaching do you have to do on a set with somebody like that? Do you kind of just let them have the realm, like kind of just do as you see fit? Yeah. Or do you still coach them like how you would like to do it? Because
honestly, man, they bring
so much life to it.
You could try to coach them, but that's just God's given, man. Like whatever them guys do. If you could tell them, you can have a script for them and everything, but just let them do their thing because they're going to do what they do.
Because chances are, I mean, a well-experienced actor, they're taking the role already seriously.
Exactly.
So they already know how they want to embody the role.
Exactly.
So, you know, it may be like a little tweak, like, you know, but they already pretty much got the
master. They already got it mastered. Yeah.
Gotcha. So you said you also did a little bit of acting. How was your acting experience? Was that something you enjoyed as well?
Nah, it was awesome, man, because I acted in my first, I wrote a short film in the midst of me finding myself, man. I wrote my first short film called Distant Lies. That went crazy.
Is that the one where you was the Uber driver?
Yeah. That was my first project that I ever wrote, you know what I mean? And when I put that out, I had like a private screening for it in like a hotel conference room. And then I put the link up, put the trailer out. Things went crazy, man. Next thing you know, I got 90 seats in that little theater, and I just sold it out, man. And then from there, that's when I knew I had something, man.
Was it just you were putting the film in the right spaces for it to be grabbed by people who, you know, were interested in that stuff? Or like, was it like you say, like word of mouth, or you were like kind of like known so people like paid attention to it? What do you think it was?
Honestly, man, I always had a lot of support, man. But whatever it is that I did, man, I just felt like people really received it well.
Wow. Okay.
And always supported me, man. So that's it, man. The support. I mean,
speaking of support, you mentioned that you were at a corporate job, you know, making good money, but you know, you decided to follow your dream, your passion.
Yeah.
How was the family support? Because you know, it could be weird, you know, seeing somebody doing good for themselves, saying, you know what, I'm gonna try this route.
Make a huge pivot.
From whoever, like,
I mean, at first, man, people thought I was crazy, man. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, like, my brothers, my mom, everybody that was close to me at that time, they thought I was going through like a midlife crisis because I was on my couch. I'm talking like Monday through Sunday, no shower, on my laptop writing. You know what I mean? Like grinding. You know what I mean? Just trying to figure things out. And then from there, man, things just got through. Like I spend months on my couch, man, just on my laptop. You know what I mean? Barely going outside, just trying to find myself and trying to find my lane.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, man, now they looking at me like, wow, that's incredible, man. Like
I see you brought your mom on stage.
oh yeah, man, that's my baby.
How was that
man.
feeling like?
Man, it was incredible, man, because you know, coming from the islands, man, and dealing with Haitian parents, sometimes they don't see it. You gotta show them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was a proud moment for me, man. To bring on that stage in front of a sold out crowd, man. That was incredible, man.
Before that, did she understand the impact that you had or what you were doing?
She understood, but she just didn't see
that moment.
You know what I mean? So that moment she saw, because I made the whole crowd just clap for her. She had a moment by herself, and I made the whole crowd clap for her, man. It was incredible. Yeah.
Now, FNO.
Yeah.
Failure's not an option, but that's also the name of the production company as well?
Yeah, FNO Production. Failure's no option productions.
It speaks for itself, but why that name and when did you come up with it?
Oh, man. I always had the failures, no option.
3 months on the couch. That's what you got to be thinking.
Yeah, I had the failures, no option mindset a long time, but I didn't adapt to the name till later on. But my mom always instilled that failures, no option in me. So when I was coming here from the Bahamas, man, I remember this pep talk she had with me. And she was just like, don't get in no trouble. Remember, you're at a disadvantage. You're not from here. So make sure you don't fail. Make sure you stay focused and make sure you stay out of trouble. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And, you know, that's just stayed in my head. And me, where I got the failures, no option from, I'm a big hip hop fan. So Lloyd Banks is one of my favorite rappers.
Lloyd Banks.
Yeah, so he had a mixtape called FNO, Failures No Option. And that's where I got it from, and I ran with it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, since you mentioned that, since you said Lloyd Banks is one of your favorite rappers, I'm assuming like you being a creator, you draw inspiration from different places. One of them probably being music.
Oh yeah,
I would
of course.
Say. So, what are some places you draw inspiration from, like music, or like what are the different places?
Oh, you talking about rappers or just
in general?
Movies?
Like if it's specific, like things throughout your life or music you listen to. What are the artists you listen to?
Like, I mean, I get a lot of inspiration from reading from watching different podcasts. Nipsey Hussle, you know what I mean? I'm a big Nas fan, and Nas was always like an educator to me. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like that's actually my all-time favorite rapper. You know what I mean? So he educated me throughout the years, man, on life skills, finances. You know what I mean? Chasing your dream. So you know, it's all about what you know, have yourself involved in, man. It's what you get back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. And so your first production you wrote and starred in, that was what was the name of the Uber driver?
Distant Lies.
Distant Lies.
Yeah.
And then you said that was well received. So at that point, what is the headspace? Is it like, okay, I can really do this. Let me just get to work and keep creating. What was the next project?
After that, man, I created my film production company. You know what I mean? And I started learning the business through my boy Andrew Sierra, and he started teaching me how to get gigs. You know what I mean? How to build a team. You know, how to shoot music videos. You know what I mean? So he took me on a lot of different sets with him. Like taught me the game and everything like that, and I just took the game and I ran with it, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then some of the festivals that you've entered, you've won?
Yeah, I've won. Yeah, Distant Lies have won. Miami Film Festival. We've won the NOLA Film Festival, which is in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
What else? I won a film festival out in LA. It was like an online submission.
What are the projects for those?
NOLA, that was a swag check documentary. NOLA. Miami Independent Film Festival, that was Distant Lies. What else? Take It to the Max. That was a soccer documentary I did. Hollywood Film Festival. And it's just a bunch. This is a bunch of them that I submitted online that I didn't show up to in person. That won some film festivals.
So winning an award for a documentary.
Yeah.
When to make the best out of a documentary, what is the goal for you? Is it just to capture the true essence of what the topic is about? Or is it just like just making sure that it's as genuine as possible? Like, what is the goal for your documentaries?
Man, my goal, man, with the documentaries that I shoot, man, is to be, like you said, be as genuine as possible, to create something that impacts change and impact, people when they watch it. You know what I mean? Like when I create a documentary, I want you to feel it in your chest. You know what I mean? I want you to feel like you relate to this story, or you know this person that I'm telling this documentary story about. You know, I dive in deep. You know what I mean? And I create, you know, super impactful stories, man. That's, like I said, that's gonna create change. Like I have a soccer documentary that I shot. I had the screening for it in 2020, January of 2020, and it was about a soccer star, man, that he passed away at a young age, a skateboard accident. He hit his head, and he had big dreams. And you know, as odd as it sound, that what I'm about to say is, he knew that his team was gonna win the state championship. His mom went in the room after he passed away, and she saw a note that he wrote. It said, that he knew that he was gonna die young, and he knew that his team was gonna win the state championship that year. And it was bizarre, but it was a super spiritual story.
Gotcha.
So speaking of documentary, your most recent status symbol, about Josh Morgan.
Yeah,
you want to dive into that a little bit more?
Oh man, that was it's a tough subject, man. You know what I mean? It was it's a mentor of mine, man. He was born and raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, raised in New Jersey, and you know, he got shot and killed, man. Gun violence, man. He was real active in the community, man. He was buying up property, man. He was putting so much people in position, and he got killed by somebody that was close to him. And I did a whole story on his life and the story of his demise. And one thing I can say about him, man, he was a true leader. He was a true inspiration, and he had a big heart. And his big heart is what got him killed, similar to what happened to Nipsey Hussle.
So with this docuseries, is it just people speaking about his life, or it's like scripted as far as like actors are like portraying his life, like how?
No, it's not scripted. It's just real testimonial interviews.
Okay.
You know, with B-roll of, you know, the city, and just telling the story through these interviews.
Gotcha. Okay. Is that how you do a lot of your documentaries?
Yeah. I'm very personal. You know what I mean? Before I do a documentary, like I fly out or I go meet with the family. You know what I mean? I sit down and I just grasp all the information that I can get, and then from there I create my story with all the information that I gather.
That's because, you know, I mean, I guess it's kind of like you got the documentaries, like, you know, people behind the scenes release like the testimonials and things like that, but then you also have like certain documentary series, like, you know, where people choose to, you know, go with the actors and the writers and things like that to like go through the whole story so people could see it. But you prefer do more the testimonial route? Yeah,
I feel like that's more the scripted version. I don't knock anything with scripted versions and stuff. I like the real and raw. You know what I mean? In person. You know what I mean? Face to face with people that knew the story and understood the story. You know what I mean? So, and I like to, like I said, I like to sit down with these people before my interviews, man, so I can get a feel for them, so I know how to deliver my questions. Gotcha. So everything is just, I like the real and raw, up front, you know what I mean, kind of documentary style. That's like my thing right there.
Is it tough for you to do that, being that you're touching, like, for example, the situation with Josh Morgan, speaking to his family? I seen that clip where you were talking to his business partner.
Yeah.
Is it tough to relive those situations when they're talking about it? Is it like sometimes you got to take a break, or?
I mean, yeah. I mean, during the process, man, of shooting the documentary, because it was, I shot that whole documentary in 10 different days. You know what I mean? So on the second day, I was doing some interviews, man, and I was getting ready to speak to his brother. And then I just broke down, like, crying. You know what I mean? Because it was a tough moment for me. I stopped the set for like an hour. I went outside, you know, took a deep breath, man, and just relaxed, man, and it came back in and, you know, did what I had to do. But it was ultimately tough, man, putting this together. And, yeah, it was tough putting this together. And ultimately, it was amazing, man, the end result, man, because it brought closure to so many people that knew him, his friends, his business partners, his family, you know what I mean, and people that didn't know him, you know what I mean? So it was incredible, man. I just had a recent screening, man. It was sold out, man. So many people that didn't even know him was there. They was just there to support, man. They were blown away. They felt like they knew him when they saw this story. So it was an awesome thing.
Gotcha. Do you have, besides the one that you've participated in or produced, do you have any documentaries that's like stand out to you that like you like kind of stick with to try to like take things from or?
Oh, I mean, that's all I watch on Netflix,
Yeah.
man. Hulu, man, Amazon, man. I look for documentaries, man. I learn from a lot of the documentaries that I see. But like you said, this one that I'm watching now is called The Worst Roommate Ever.
I heard of that.
Crazy.
That
incredible, man.
I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard people talk about it. That's like basically like she was a serial killer? Is it that one?
Nah, it's a series actually. It's a different episodes, but that first one, like serial killer, and she was pretty much.
So it's multiple different worst roommates.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. And another documentary I like, it's called Bad Sport. I don't know if you heard about that one. It's pretty much about a college star, man. That he was taking money, for bets. You know what I mean? And he ultimately, he ruined his career because they ended up finding out about it. And he was an NBA scout, NBA ready, man. And his career went downhill because of the things that he decided to do, outside of his college career.
Gotcha. So let's also venture off into other stuff you do with FNO. You have the FNO comedy.
Yeah.
I see you did a few things with Pierre.
Oh, yeah.
Comedy from How to Be a Player.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Things like that. So how is that first? Like, where did you get the idea? And then how is producing those comedy events?
Oh, man. Comedy, I was... I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Kings of Comedy.
Yeah,
Steve Harvey, DL. So I used to always watch the Kings of Comedy, man. I used to always think, like, who the hell got all these people in this building? Who put this together? And then later on in my life, I started going to the show called Speak Fridays down in Miami, Wynwood. And it was beautiful, man. Like it was like they did poetry, live music, and comedy. And then I went. And then I was going every week, man, because I fell in love with the situation. I fell in love with what it was. And then, I got me the pen and the pad, and I just started creating a vision of my own. I was so inspired by that, and I just created my own vision, which became FNO Comedy and Soul Nights.
Yeah.
That was a mix of comedy
and R&B,
music, and poetry. And then from there, I went full-fledged with the comedy.
All right. And with that, you experienced so much comedy and not being part of it. Did you ever think about like doing comedy yourself or
nah?
Just behind the scenes?
I'm not a comedian. I just got a love for the arts, man. I love, just packing out a room and comedian go on stage, man. And I look around, everybody's laughing, having a good time, man. Because you don't know what people go through during their days, man. They got stressful Fridays they dealing with, man. So, they come prepared, get dressed, look good, come to your show, and they come laugh, come eat well, man. And it just makes me feel good to just be able to stand by and watch that. It's incredible.
Is Bernie Mac your stand-up GOAT?
Oh yeah,
Bernie Mac?
Him. I got a top five.
Who are some of your few?
I mean, Bernie number one, man. Red Fox.
With it.
Who else? Richard Pryor.
Okay, yeah.
Robin Harris. I'm an old head, man. And I like Paul Mooney, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, before you continue. Speaking of Kings of Comedy, it's funny you say that because the founder of Kings of Comedy, Walter Latham,
yeah.
The man, he's, I believe, 97, I believe. He started Kings of Comedy, if I'm not mistaken, or 95 or something like that.
I think it was around that time.
He was young, too. He was like early 20s.
Yeah,
when he started that.
It's one of my inspirations, man. I follow his moves. And, I see what he's doing, man. I'm applying that to my life.
And he owns all of it, too.
Oh, yeah.
Owns all of
Definitely.
it.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you're, like, trying to build, like, basically, eventually, like, go on tours and things like that?
Yeah, of course, man. I'm also, just to be an outlet for creativity, man, for the comedians, man, for poetry, for live music and things like that, man. I just want to be the outlet to be able to have people come to my show, perform, man, and get looked at, you know what I mean? And eventually you come to my show because, there's a lot of important people that come to my show, you know what I mean? So, and there's a lot of gigs that, that people get when they do come to my show, man. So, I just want to keep creating that outlet for people.
Gotcha. Now, you're not a comedian, but you are the producer. Like you said, you're the outlet of it.
Yeah.
With it being 2022, so many things changing with socially. and you working with these comedians, do you think that it's impacting them as far as, you know, their art? And what do you think as far as guidelines? Do you think it's a such thing as too far? Like, as far as, like, you know, like, what are off limits, if there are limits in your mind?
In comedy.
In comedy.
Is there any limits in comedy?
What do you mean by limits?
As far as, like, you know,
Jokes, like a line that you cross with a joke.
Oh, nah, man. Honestly, I let my comedians do them. You know what I mean? And, you know, I have an open platform, man. But they come in, they talk about whatever. But ultimately, they have a respect factor. You know what I'm saying? But I don't limit them. Oh, you can't talk about this. You can't talk about that.
Not even you limit them. Like, as far as you being the consumer of the comedy, is there, like, sometimes, like, certain, like, comics or comedians you don't want to see because you feel like they're too offensive, or you just feel like comedy is just an art to where it's either funny to you or it's not?
I mean, comedy is just an art, man. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, I just let them go in there and they do their thing. You know what I mean? It's no limit. You know what I mean? Go on there and just create, man. Make these people laugh. You know what I mean? That's what I book you for, and that's what you need to do. You need to make these people laugh.
Gotcha.
And, you know, I feel like you said, I feel like it's a platform for them, especially when you have a sellout room all the time. You know, like they get the network. People actually get to see them live, man, and they really appreciate it because there's not a lot of people with, you know, stages out here, man, especially me being a black man and having my own comedy room, man. Like, because this is a white man's industry. You know what I mean? And I'm doing very well as a black man in this industry. You know what I'm saying? So
Gotcha.
It feels good for a comedian to be able to come on my stage and create, make these people laugh, man, because ultimately after that, it creates a lot more opportunities for them.
So I have a two-part question, but the first part, as somebody how big is your team? As somebody you have to scout comedians.
Yeah.
You have to put a whole show together. You have to get the headliner, et cetera, et cetera. How big is your team to get something like that done?
Man, you just got to have a solid few, man. That's real, man, and that believe in your vision as much as you do. You know what I mean? That's the most important thing, man. So about 3 to 4, maybe 5 people. You know what I mean? But they all got to be solid, though. You know, a lot of people, they have a lot of people around them, but only 3 is helping out, and the other 10 is just really watching. Around. You know what I mean? I like to just limit and keep it small with solid people around me, man. That's what it's all about, man. When you're chasing a dream, man, you just got to have people, a solid few that believe in you and support you, man. That's what it's all about.
All right, now the biggest headline in I guess you say the industry, the Will Smith and Chris Rock, but I'm not even gonna approach it from the I don't whatever. I'm tired of talking about it. Yeah. As somebody that puts on events, Will Packer was in charge, and his production company was in charge of putting together the production for the Oscars this year.
Yeah,
and he did a lot of great things, from getting Beyonce to perform in Compton, because Serena and Venus Williams from Compton, King Richard, which was pretty much the big moment of the night, and Will Smith winning. When you seen Will Smith go on stage and did what he did to Chris Rock as a producer and somebody who put on events, what do you think was going through Will Packer's head at that moment?
Man, pissed off. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day,
that's how your emotions would be.
Yeah, like just being a part of production, man. Like, that's the worst thing you want on a production. Anything that disrupts your production, you don't want any of that, man. So obviously, if that was my situation, me producing that, like, I would have been livid, man. I would have been pissed off, man. But at the same time, I would have got over it because ultimately, their situation was their situation. You know what I'm saying? And you can't stop that. You can't go back and stop that because it already happened.
As a producer, that being your production, your time at the Oscars, do you think that there's any positives you can draw from that after that moment happened? Like, when they think back, okay, at least you can say like a black man produced it. Like, is there any positives that you can draw afterwards, you think?
Honestly, like, with that situation, man, it is what it is, and you just move forward from it. You know what I mean? I don't think it's no positives because honestly, like, I don't think the main focus is just Will Smith and Chris Rock. You know what I mean? So I don't really think that people are gonna dive into it to really like check who produced the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So So Will Smith and the Chris Rock situation will overshadow
it already
that.
overshadowed everything else.
Yeah, so you just got to move forward with it. You know what I mean? So you being a producer, you just got to move forward and just let that be that.
In regards to Will Smith and his career moving forward, they're like pausing productions and things like that. Do you think it's something that will continue, or just something that he needs to address, and once he addresses it, they'll be able to move on and move forward and continue productions?
Yeah, I mean, Will Smith, he addressed it already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, with a statement, but clearly there's something more that needs to be done because his productions are being halted and things like that.
Yeah, so I think Will Smith's a stand-up guy, man. He's been a great actor for so many years, man. So I know that he's gonna have a sit down, and I know he's gonna just talk about it, man, and get everything off his chest, man. And ultimately, you can't blackball Will Smith.
No,
you know what I mean? Like, that's a legend, man. He gonna do whatever the hell he want to do, but ultimately, he did what he did, and he got to learn from that, and he got to move on from that. Gotcha. That's ultimately what it comes down to.
I also seen that you've been a part of some dope productions as far as like working with like stars, the Wale Bryson Tiller music video.
Yeah.
What are some of the other projects and stuff that you were a part of that had some notoriety, and how was those experiences?
Oh man, I worked with Pitbull. Mm-hmm. I worked with Chanel West Coast. Okay. I worked with NBA YoungBoy.
Okay.
I worked with so many people, man. I worked with Dipset, Jim Jones, Skipper the Flipper.
How are those experiences? You working with these different personalities?
They were awesome, man. Just being in that light, being able to shoot those top tier productions, man, and that's where I pretty much learned the game of production when it comes to music videos and things like that, man. It was awesome, man. It was a very awesome opportunity, being able to take it to the next level, being able to work with those guys, man, because those were incredible people to work with. Each and every one of them.
So we touched a little bit on it a little earlier, but for up and coming, director who wants to direct, what advice would you give him to go about building? Because you mentioned earlier that you find a few people and then you build a team.
Yeah.
What direction would they go? Would you try to have them go on sets, like find somebody that's doing it, try to get under their wing, go on some sets, network, meet other people?
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to young?
Honestly, man, like create. You know what I mean? If you're a creator,
you're gonna create.
Create. Even write something and get it in front of a director that you've been following. You know what I mean? Like, you need to see what I put together. You know what I mean? Or just create in your head and just don't be afraid to send a DM. Don't be afraid to email. You know what I mean? Just have that courage and have that consistency, man, and have that vision to know that things are gonna happen. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. That's what happened with me. Just me just believing and me having a vision bigger than the sun, bigger than the stars, bigger than everything, you know what I mean? And just pushing forward and not taking no for an answer. You know what I mean? That's how I got on. And, that's how I will continue to get on, man, because a lot of people are afraid to send those DMs, afraid of people not replying and none of that. You're going to get some of those, and you're going to get some people that's going to hit you back. So just keep pushing.
A lot of time people fear the no's too.
Yeah.
How many no's would you say that you've got for a project, for example? Whatever project it is, how many no's would you say you got?
I mean, I got a lot of no's, man. I got more no's than yeses, for sure. Of course. But them yeses outweighed those no's for sure, with impact. You know what I mean? So yeah, I got a lot of no's, man. But those no's made me better. Those no's did not discourage me. They made me think like, you know what? I got this. I'm gonna figure it out. You know what I mean? And they gonna be writing me back. You know what I mean? Which is happening today. So I'm blessed and I'm thankful.
So people that you reached out to in the past.
Exactly. They've been reaching out to me now.
It's gonna come full circle.
Yep. That's what it's all about.
Most definitely. As far as your come up, like you talk about how you were dedicated, sitting on the couch for those few months. I'm assuming, even now that you're like moving constantly around, I'm assuming that of course affects the personal life, with like family, friends, whatever. How do you balance that? Is it just something that people just have to understand, or are you like cognizant, like you brought your mother on stage in your shining moment? How do you balance those things?
Man, I had to learn, how to balance all that, man, because it's a lot, man. When you focused on your grind and family, and I'm also in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? I just got engaged the other day, you know what I mean? Got a baby on the way, you know what I mean? So
that's good.
it was just a lot, man, processing that and putting that together. And now, I found that balance. 2022 was a year of balance for me.
That's
you know
when
what I mean?
You found it.
Yeah, 2020, 2021, the end of 2021, towards the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2020 was where it was chaos, man. You know what I mean? There was a lot of chaos, man. And then from there, man, I was just grinding through the storm. And then 2022, like I said, has been a year of balance, man, where I've been able to balance everything out: family, friends, business, everything, man. So it's been an incredible year.
Gotcha. You mentioned all of that. Now, how much do you sleep?
I mean, at first,
or at least in the beginning. Yeah.
At first, man, like I wasn't really getting no sleep, man. I was probably getting like 4 hours.
You drink coffee or something? Like, what's the trick?
Because
I want to know. Because
man,
I'm getting
ain't really no coffee in there, but it was just like making sure I have a good movie on while I'm working.
Okay, good movie.
You could focus while while watching the movie.
Yeah, as long as I hear the audio, man, like I'm fine. Especially a movie that you're inspired by.
Okay.
You put it on.
A trick that I learned while you're working: don't lay down.
Oh yeah, nah. I'll be sitting like this.
Yeah, you got to be sitting.
I'll be sitting like this. I'll be at my desk, man, and I just be, like I'll play a movie and I'll overhear it, but I'll take a glance at it every now and then. You know what I'm saying? So that it keeps me up.
So that helps with like the late nights and things like that.
Yeah, and I also a lot of research, man. Like I research a lot, man.
Gotcha.
When it comes to filmmakers, dudes like John Singleton, Ice Cube, man, and Morgan Cooper, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the cats, man, that's really out here in the film industry, man. So I do a lot of reading, so that keeps me up too.
Gotcha.
I was going to ask, just piggyback off that, who are some of your top directors that you look at their work, or you probably research how they came up in the industry, and that motivates you or that you look up to?
I mean, shit, Ryan Coogler was one of them.
Facts.
John Singleton.
Facts.
Morgan Cooper, man, up and coming, man, incredible, man. You know what I mean?
His story.
Yeah, incredible, man. He got the series on Peacock right now with Fresh Prince. Did the reboot, man. Incredible show, man.
And it's crazy because the trailer that he just did it like himself.
He did that off of inspiration.
Took off.
And you just see what can happen when you create. That's why I said earlier, just create. Because you don't know what'll happen. You don't know what's next. So just create.
And interesting thing about it, it's not even a pilot that he did. He did a trailer. He didn't do a pilot. He didn't do an episode. He just did a trailer. And it took off.
Yeah, Westbrook saw it, man. Like, that's Will Smith's production company. And then from there, Will Smith had the meeting with him and then it just took off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler, he started Creed maybe because him and his father used to always watch Rocky movies.
Yeah.
He was inspired by it. And then we pitched it to Stallone.
Yeah.
And
Stallone,
See?
the rest is history.
So you just never know.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Before we wrap up here, you're ascending 10 years from now. Where does Roosevelt see himself?
Man, I see myself owning acres, man. Acres in the sense of so I can create my own film studio, production studio, F&O studios. Touring the world with, all the comedians, you know what I mean? Definitely. That's, that I'm building with, and all the legendary comedians, you know what I mean? So that's my thing right there, man. Like just being tapped into those industries and, taking it to a whole new heights, a whole new level.
Definitely.
And being the best, documentary filmmaker to touch this earth. You know what I mean? That's my lane right there. You know what I mean? I love telling stories.
Documentaries more than movie, like film or shows?
I mean, I love telling the story, man. Okay. Like, it's the thing about documentaries for me, man. It's just like being able to, because with documentaries, before you do a documentary, it's a lot of things you got to do in a sense of just if you're doing a documentary on a specific person or a specific story, you have to go meet with those people that's going to be attached to that story. So it's just like you have to build relationships and you have to build those connections and you have to build friendships before you get into before you shoot the documentary. So with that, it just makes the story so much easier, and it just makes, the conversation so friendly and so relatable to be able to create a great product. You know what I mean? So that's why I love documentaries so much, man. Building relationships, and I love and it's community too, man. Because I love my community. I love doing things in the community. Because a lot of people, they just look for those celebrity stories.
Yeah,
that's cool,
but it may not be as impactful.
Exactly, because those celebrities, they already got to where they at. But I want to build something, because the community is where you're going to get the support from. Those are the ones that are going to bring you up to where you need to be. So once you stay active in your community, man, you keep pushing and you keep doing things for your community, ultimately, you're going to reach the top.
Gotcha.
Because, you started with the people in the community.
Most definitely. And lastly, real quick, what is your focus for the rest of 2022 on the projects that you're developing and things like that?
Oh, man, because with Status Symbol, I'm about to flood the market, man. I'm about to flood all these film festivals. I'm about to win hell of awards. Remember, I said it here, you know what I mean? And
stamp it.
My whole process of creating that documentary was when I was at his funeral. I saw him going down. And me just being a filmmaker and all the dreams and goals that me and him were going to do together, I was just like, the whole world needs to know about who this man was and what he represented and what he did on this earth. You know what I mean? So I put that together, and ultimately when I'm flooding it through these film festivals and, it's on Hulu and Netflix and all these things, I just wanted people to know who Josh was. I just wanted them to see this shining light, this Jesus in human form that's no longer here no more, that got taken away by somebody that was envious and jealous. Because, Judas was a real person, man.
Most definitely.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of Judases on this earth. So any entrepreneur, man, anybody that's really focused on here and you reaching a plateau and you taking off, man, just make sure that, you keep your surroundings clear, man. You keep your eyes open.
Very important.
You know what I mean? Because, a lot of people, man, they don't like when people reach success, man. Even it comes from family, it comes from friends, man. It comes from business partners, man. And you just can't. Sometimes you can't see it. So you got to have your eyes wide open. You got to pray a lot.
Gotcha. Because
you don't know where it's going to come from.
All right. And before we head out, let the people know where they can follow you, anything that you want to plug. Let them know where they can tap in with you at.
You can follow me on my personal page, Failure's No Option _ my comedy page, F&O Event Culture, my production company, F&O Productions, LLC. And also, I'm doing a big show at the Improv, May 26th. I just broke the silence right there. So everybody that see this, come through. You know what I mean? So I'm booking some big acts, man. It's gonna be a hell of a
Miami.
No, Daniel, the new one that just opened in Daniel. Okay. So I'll be there, man. I have a big show there on May 26th, Memorial Day weekend. So it's gonna be incredible.
Roosevelt, appreciate you for coming through. Dope conversation.
Of course.
I always ask this question.
Oh yeah, he said he do referrals.
Yeah, but I want him to say it on here. So if we can have one person saying what you're saying that right now, but you have to be able to get him on. Yeah. Who would it be?
I mean, my boy William, man. William Rubini, man. He's one of my DPs and one of my editors, man.
I think I met him.
Yeah, I think you did too.
I think I met him.
Yeah, man. He's incredible, man. He's from St. Martin, born in France, and he got an immigrant story, man, that'll really that you guys will really tap into, man. Like he's an awesome filmmaker, man. He's doing so much, man, and I'm proud of him. You know what I mean? And
let's make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. I got that. Don't even worry about it, man. Whoever you need, man.
Appreciate that.
I got you.
Appreciate that.
You already know.
And it's written, so let's go ahead and get it. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. Make sure you tap in with Roosevelt, everything that he's got going on, doing big things. It's Kyle the Kid, Mega the Boy. And we out.
Yeah, dude.
Yes, sir.
Love. Appreciate you guys, man.